Okay, for this year's CNC challenge, I'll do a little. I'm going to do a little light burn project, and ultimately end up out at the laser. So let's get around. Let's go ahead and open up light burn. And before we get too deep into light burn, what I like to do is I'll go ahead and just draw a little work area on my screen. I'm going to turn that into a frame. This work area is going to represent the absolute maximum limits that I can contain my project in. And in this case, it will be a 12 by 20 piece of plywood. I'm going to go ahead and update my frame to represent 12 by 20. And it looks, it's fairly well centered onto my work area. So we'll get around and center it up just a little bit, just give it an eyeball. Actually, it can be anywhere. It really doesn't need to be. The frame is on. Let's bring in the graphics. So for the graphics, it's just simply an image that's been pulled off the internet and vectorized, and it will be now something just doesn't look right. And I believe what I'm going to do is I will change that over to layer 00 just for giggles. Let's do this. Select it, change it to 0, because I like black and white. And it looks to me that my orientation is off just a little bit. So let's give it a spin. 90 degrees. All right. And I can see right off the get-go that obviously the project is bigger than my work area. So something has to give. Let's change the project a little bit. The smallest dimension that I can change on the project in this orientation would be the height. And again, remember my work area was 12 inches. So I'll bump that to 12 inches. And let's go ahead and select like that and that. And let's center that up and see what it looks like. That's closer. All right. So let's ungroup this. And I'm going to initially just move some of the images out of the way. And we'll take this portion and we'll just bring it into each one of the square divisions that you see represent 1/2 inch. I'm sorry, 1/4 inch. So I'm off of the edge of my workpiece by 1/4 inch. And this particular guy here, now obviously remember, when you're creating a window around an object and your objects are very close together, check the graphics and make sure that you have only the component that you're looking to work with at the moment or edit. So let's bump this one down just a little bit, and this one up a little bit. And it looks like I have everything that I want. We'll nudge that up a little bit. All right. First grouping moved into position. And what I will do now is I'm going to I'll actually group this first set. So let's go ahead and group the first set here. All right. let's move the second set into position. And just like we did with the first, we'll grab it, we'll nudge it over, and this one looks like it can nudge up just a little bit. That looks pretty good there. Let's keep on moving it over. And the idea is to maximize your workspace so that you have as little waste material as possible. Obviously, waste is inevitable, and you will have some. So, all right, there's that particular section. Group. I need to stop. And again, my mouse likes to create some headaches for me because it is so sensitive. And we will just grab this group. This little portion of the video is a voiceover, and it's just a continuation of my manipulation of the graphics to fit within the available work area. What I'm doing with this, the third set of three, basically just maneuvering the first set in, grabbing the next two and moving them over really just to save space, and it works out pretty decent. For the fourth set, you'll notice that it, as I select it and move it over, it just doesn't fit. So I rolled it around 180 degrees, moved it into position, gave it just a little bit more of a tilt, and it's good to go. Here we are out at the laser. And again, this is going to be a voiceover for the most part to eliminate the roar of the evacuation system. I've taken the liberty to line the material up square to the bed, and it's something most of you have seen over and over, so I didn't want to bore you with it. So with that said, let's go ahead and get it running, and we're up and running. The evacuation system is working really nice, as you can see, and here in just a few seconds we'll go ahead and pull the board up and see how clean it cuts. All right, we turn the laser and the blower off so you can hear me talk a little bit. Looks like it cut out pretty clean. A lot of small picking to do yet. I'll get the parts cleaned up and we'll start. I guess we'll add some color to it, put it together, and see what it looks like. So catch you in a few minutes. Well, with this image, I have the color applied, and to all 13 layers. Yeah, lots of fun. My big hands and those little paint brushes just don't work. At any rate, here we're doing a little bit of assembly. And again, big hands and little pieces just don't go together well. Glue is being applied with a toothpick, and we will try to stick this thing together without making a big mess. This is an image of the finished product. It turned out fairly well. I'm happy with it. And a little guy, had I realized it was going to be quite so small, I think I would have changed my scale just a little bit. But the end goal was to keep it on a single sheet of my plywood, which I did. So Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.